Opinions expressed on this radio program do not necessarily reflect the views of this radio station.
My friends and I always tune into the Todd L. Levitt Law Show. Todd is entertaining, informative, and always delivers the goods.
Todd might not tell you what you want to hear, but he's going to tell you what you need to hear. And all you got to do is listen.
Hold on, Todd. Don't let go. It's time for the Todd L. Levitt Law Show.
Welcome to the Todd L. Levitt Law Show. Good morning, good evening, and good night. I'm yours truly, attorney Todd L. Levitt, broadcasting and podcasting in the middle of the mitten in the Black Diamond Group mothership in a beautiful nutrient field with my good friend. He's a nug. He's yours. He's mine. He's Craig Russell, the muscle. He's not a hemp sack. Craig, you are a quality nug for the show this Sunday on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Craig.
Hey, happy Mother's Day to all you mother fathers out there. Why am I a nug? What does that mean?
You know, because what's a nug? You have done this show with me for how many decades, and you are asking me what a nug is?
Well, last I knew what a nug is, it's what is short for a chicken nugget. So
it's a quality nug. The strain of the show, by the way, is a dense quality nug. Let's just leave it at that. So
okay.
Enjoy the cereal milk that you have in front of you there, Craig. How you doing, Craig?
I'm doing fan-flippin-tastic. How are you, Todd?
I could not be better enjoying cereal milk as the strain of the show, brought to you by Consano, our good friends at Consano Dispensary. Thank you very much for the strain of the show. Cereal milk coming in at 24%. We have a massive show. Little John is in the flesh in the studio. All the listeners will know Little John by what, Craig?
By the opening of the show. Todd will tell you what you need to know, not what you got to know, or whatever he says in the beginning of the show.
Todd,
and he's
not going to tell you what you need to know or what you want to know. He's going to tell you what you need to know. And all you've got to do is listen. So Little John's coming on the show.
And hasn't he been on the show with you for like 30 years? I mean, he's been on forever.
Little John has been with me forever. He used to be part of Skate War. He's part of the 420 Canna Hemp Expo, which has taken place here, which we have to talk about.
Oh, God,
Little John he's always with me. Everything I do, we've done together, along with my cousin AZ. Big shout out to AZ and all the guys at M66. Craig, we opened up the show today with one of my all-time favorite groups from just decades, just in general.
Stone Temple Pilots, STP.
STP. And then Scott Whalen broke off and formed a super group, Velvet Revolver, which was outstanding. Right. I mean, just outstanding. Another great one lost. Scott Whalen.
Didn't he pass away a few years back here?
He did. Another just a great artist, just fantastic. Great voice, great entertainer.
Now, I know how much you love the Stone Temple Pilots, but I have this sneaking suspicion, if I was a betting man, and I am, that there was another song you really wanted to open the show up with. What song is that?
We're destroying it on the show today on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to my mother, your mother, all the moms out there, to Jen, everyone out there. I wanted to just rock it out, rock it hard, Smile Empty Soul, Craig. Introduce the listeners to some Smile Empty Soul, and let's just turn it and burn it and churn it.
Time alone to deal with issues, but something makes me carry on. It's difficult to understand why I always wanna fly. I do it for the drugs, I do it just to feel alive. I do it for the love that I get from the bottom.
So when you told me you wanted to play that song on the show this week, I said, oh, you really want to rock it out this week? And you're like, yeah, we're rocking it out. Sunday morning, Mother's Day Sunday morning, and here we are rocking it out. What's the name of this band again? This is a good song.
Smile Empty Soul. Bottom of the bottle, my man. Bottom of the bottle.
What do we know about Smile Empty Soul? Do we know anything about
Just
that?
one of those groups that came about, with all the, Seven Dust and all those great
Avenged Sevenfold and those bands, Fine Figure Death Punch.
Same type of, Papa Roach.
Yeah, exactly.
I love those groups. Those groups just destroy it, and they still do.
Music is a big part of the Todd L. Levitt Law Show. Always
it
has
is.
been.
It is.
And always
it
will
is.
be. Yes.
And by the way, huge, just massive announcement about the 420 Canna Hemp Expo, folks, taking place June 4th and 5th at the Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, which we love all of their properties. You ready for the big announcement, Craig?
I'm ready. What is it?
Detroit Red Wing Darren McCarty will be appearing both Friday and Saturday. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Darren McCarty?
Darren McCarty has a cannabis company, and he will be there featured both Friday and Saturday as a sponsor, exhibitor. He will be meeting and greeting the public and introducing his product and his image and brand which is already out there. So come on out, meet. Look, he's a great guy. He's got a great company. He's surrounded by great men and women. But, I grew up in Detroit. You didn't have to grow up in Detroit. When I grew up, because, we're the same age, or you're 102. But Steve Eiserman, Darren, Probert, all the Russian players that came over and all the Scandinavians. Those were some great Red Wing hockey teams. And Darren was right there with them, and I used to watch him all the time.
Darren McCarty is probably best known for the Game 4 against the Flyers in '97 when the Red Wings won their first Stanley Cup in like 50 years. He scored, I think he scored a goal and had an assist or scored 2 goals. It was like, and he totally, it's one of those things. No offense, I'm not knocking Darren McCarty. He was a great Red Wing, great player, and he's a great guy.
Fantastic.
He was not known for being a goal scorer. He was much more of a tough guy. But when he scored a goal in the Stanley Cup final game, that pretty much sealed the deal.
He was a great skater. He could skate.
Yep.
He's a great skater.
Yep.
And great hands, great stick action. So Darren's coming out, folks. So be sure to go onto our website, 420cannaexpo.com, 420cannaexpo.com. If you have a product or a service that services the industry, there are only a few exhibitor spaces left. It's going to be in the concert venue indoors this year. There's a big VIP party Friday night. So go online, get all the information. There's also a block of rooms at the casino. So you definitely want to go online, get the information, and reserve a room for Friday and Saturday night at our discount. Also coming to the show, we have another huge sponsor coming to the show, Craig. And I'm proud to announce, Vive CBD, lab tested organic hemp is going to be there. ViveCBD.com. Check them out. ViveCBD.com. Awesome organic hemp company. They're going to be there. We've got a lot of seed companies, seed sellers going to be there. And Sweet Dreams, LostInDetroit.com, M3, Michigan Made Mix, Consano, of course. There's so many great companies who are AB Seed Company, U.S. Hemp Company's coming out this year. We've got Pigfish's Dime Mag is going to be there. I can go on and on and on. Just go on to our website. But Darren McCarty is going to be there with his premium marijuana products exclusively, there at the Expo. So we're stoked about that. He'll be coming on the show too, hopefully soon.
Now, look, I'm going to tell you this much. If you would have
CT Native Enterprises also will be there, but there's so many more exhibitors. It's going to be sold out.
If you would have told me that you were going to make mention of a new main sponsor and that Darren McCarty was going to be at the 420 CANNABIS Expo, if you would have said that was what the show was all about today, that would have been a big show. Now you then throw in Little John. That's huge. We've got even more news. Mike Nichols is going to be on the show in segments 2 and 3. I mean, this show is just jam-packed.
Mike Nichols. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many great companies coming out, MKX, oil company. There's just so many coming out this year. Little John's going to be there also, but you definitely want to go to the website, get a room, come for the Friday night party and all day Saturday. We're going to be exhibiting Friday and Saturday. It's so big this year. Free to the public. There will be presentations. There is a cost to get in this year to the presentations because of COVID and the demand for the speakers this year that will be there. Mike Camorn, Heidi, Scott Roberts will be out there, Denise Porlicello. Yep. But Craig, Mike Nichols will be coming here in the mothership shortly to talk about some of the new legislation in regards to 5 nanograms that was introduced this past week. Also, he just introduced an amicus brief, and that's really important stuff for all the listeners out there. We'll explain to you what those both are. But Little John is here. Little John's here, Craig. Without further ado, we got to put Little John in the mothership. What do you say?
Oh, we got to do it. Little John's in the house. Little
John's in the house with some cereal milk today, everybody. And Craig, you are his favorite nug. So hold on a second, okay?
Hey, my brother from another mother. How you be doing, my big nugget? What be going on, brother?
Little John's in the house. Oh, my God. Little John, I missed you, Little John. How you doing, buddy?
I missed you, man, alive. So glad you're closer to the arena.
Are you still hanging in there? Are you making it happen? What's been going on with you, Little John?
Well, just running around trying to stay out of trouble, hiding from the law, and getting ready for the 420, 420. I even dug my first one out.
If you're trying to stay ahead of the law, yet you're trying to stay out of trouble, that might not be so good for you there, Little John. Aren't you the law?
Well, inadvertently, no. Inadvertently, yes. It depends what part you're on.
Oh, Little John. You're the man, Little John. Little John, who's going to be at the 420 CANNABIS Expo. Have you seen the new T-shirts, Little John? The new T-shirts are going to be awesome. You're going to be modeling one, correct?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah,
I'm a great model.
Yeah, you will be. You'll be great. Where are you going to be at during the 420? Have you figured out yet?
I'm going to be wherever you don't put me. Because, I avoid work.
Oh, Little John, you do not. You work harder than anybody I know. What are you talking about?
Well, at my age, I got to wobble around and get around, and you know how it goes. Just keep on trucking.
Todd sent me a picture. Todd sent me a picture of you and him earlier this week, and I had a good kick out of it. I missed you, Little John. Well, you're the man.
I missed you.
You're my favorite nug too.
All right, brother.
Whatever that means.
That's why we're brothers from another mother.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm going to give a big shout out to the Wademan Eagles.
Right on.
And to our Masons.
Okay.
We're the ones that go around with the red caps helping handicapped children, have hospitals that help them. I became a member there also.
See, look, you're super busy there, Little John. You're busy keeping people safe and helping people out.
Well, my biggest job is fixing the bicycles for the young kids for Christmas outreach for Isabella County, Isabella Christmas outreach. But with this COVID, they put a lot of stipulations in on it.
I know. But we're getting back. Have you gotten your shots yet, Little John? Are you all vaccinated and everything?
No, I think I had it before it ever came out.
I got you. A couple of years ago?
I was visiting just before they announced it.
Okay.
I came down with it like about 2 weeks after, before they announced it. And my nephew and my niece, my great nephews down in Kalamazoo had been tested for it before it was announced. And they were all four had it. And I was visiting them at the time, and guess what? I figure I must have caught it because I came home and got sicker than a coot dog.
Oh, that's no good. Hey, I'm from the Kalamazoo area. You know that, Little John, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where I grew up. Portage is where I'm from.
Oh, yeah? I've been in Portage many times.
Yeah, Portage is a good town. Good town.
Tri-County's ownage.
That's
Tri-County Electric.
Little John in the house, everybody. Little John. Yeah. Thank you to Little John. We have to take a break on the Todd L. Levitt Law Show. When we come back, Mike Nichols will be in the house.
Mike Nichols.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Todd L. Levitt Law Show, broadcasting and podcasting in the Black Diamond Group mothership with my favorite quality nug, Craig Russell, the muscle, enjoying cereal milk this morning, Craig, which, by the way, folks, is a cross between Cherry Pie and Snowman, which created cereal milk coming in at 24%, a very dense quality nug, just like my good friend, Craig. It's a hybrid, by the way. But, if you're going to participate in cereal milk without the cereal, just be careful because you do not want to operate any equipment after doing so, and do everything responsible, within the law. We always want to remind everyone you only should do what you have a legal right to do within the law. Hey, Craig, we have a massive guest. It's the handsome and talented. He's a genius. He's a good friend of yours and mine. Attorney Mike Nichols is back from Nichols Law Firm.
Woo!
What's up, Nick?
Well, Todd, it's great to be with you. And Craig, great to be with you. I hope your new assignment is working out, Craig.
Yes, everything is fantastic. Are you in beautiful East Lansing right now there, Mike?
I am in beautiful East Lansing. We have some sunshine. It's a great day. Mother's Day.
It is a beautiful Mother's Day.
It is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to your wife, Wendy.
Yes. What are you doing for her today?
Get your mom some cereal milk for Mother's Day.
I think that's
cereal milk, everybody.
That's what we're saying.
I'm an OWI and OWID attorney, but all the strains, I'm trying to keep up with it. It's like trying to keep up with all the different scotches. It's not easy.
And all the different rap groups with the kids and everything. You know the kids? Remember the kids? Remember the kids?
Yes, the kids.
The kids are great.
Well, can somebody please think about the children?
Please. The children? What have the children ever done for me?
I've got 3 words,
Great.
Craig. Pappy Van Winkle.
Well, yeah, but I'm telling you, man, there's a place in Kentucky. I know I saw this story a couple of years ago. Pappy Van Winkle, $5 a bottle. $5 a bottle.
No, Mike Nichols will confirm this with me. The only way you're going to get your hands on Pappy Van Winkle and a $5 bottle is if, Craig, you took a glass bottle, just some old glass bottle, and put your own label with your Crayola crayons on it, and maybe you'd get 50 cents for it. But Pappy,
here's how you could
not
get some Pappy Van Winkle for $5 a bottle. You go for a run with a little water bottle. You dump out the water bottle. You go behind a double wide in Stinking Creek, Tennessee, and a dog comes running out, barking at you, and you say, okay, it's okay, puppy. You toss like a little dog treat off to the side. You walk back behind the house, and there's a guy making Pappy Van Winkle behind his double wide in Stinking Creek, Tennessee. That's how you can get it for $5 a bottle.
That's probably not legitimate Pappy Van Winkle. I'm just going to say
Buffalo Trace. You're talking Buffalo Trace there, guys, for sure. But it's some really good product and highly sought after, along with some other bourbon. But hey, Mike, you've been on the show before. Every time you are on the show, huge ratings, huge downloads. Nichols Law Firm, East Lansing, folks, 517-432-9000, 517-432-9000. On a weekly basis, I receive phone calls and refer cases down to Mike Nichols, his wife Wendy, and the other attorneys at his law firm. Just in my opinion, top-notch, creme de la creme of criminal defense lawyers, family law. Your firm does other types of law. But today, Mike, you are here to talk about what?
Well, we have a few things going on in operating while intoxicated by marijuana cases. And one of them is the legislation that was introduced on Thursday of last week. But another legislator yet again proposed a bill that said if you have 5 nanograms of THC, you are presumed to be in violation of the Michigan drunk driving statute. But included in the language of this bill is 5 nanograms of the inactive metabolite of THC, which is ridiculous. It is contrary to science and contrary to medicine, and it's not going anywhere. I'm confident in that because the Prosecuting Attorneys Association of Michigan have already said that they oppose this bill. So we need to talk about it. We need to be vigilant about it. But
that's insane.
It is very insane. And you know why the prosecutors don't want it, Craig? Because by the time somebody has their blood drawn in an OWI by marijuana investigation, they're going to be resolved. In other words, the absorption and elimination of the THC in the bloodstream is going to be below probably 2 nanograms. And they won't be affected, and it's going to be a stupid case, and they're going to look bad.
So they're trying to make time work on their side, is what you're saying.
Correct, or try to avoid time working against their side. By the way, Wendy just poked her head into the fitness center and said to say hi to Todd and Craig.
Hi, Wendy.
She loves how you're building a Mount Pleasant looks, Todd.
We're opening up a new law firm. Right there on Broadway, absolutely. Hey,
Building
Mike,
looks great.
Thank you. So, a couple things I've argued. I'm not alone, but they know who they are, have successfully argued that there's no correlation between THC and impairment. And in the state of Michigan, if you're 21 and over, and you're pulled over side of the road, officer does an investigation, blood is drawn. And, 5 nanograms, 7 nanograms shows up in your blood. How do you defend that if you're 21 and over?
Well, if I'm the cop, I'm spending as much time with that person as I possibly can to get them to, so to speak, trip up and show signs of impairment. Because most people, not everybody, most people know THC affects a person differently than alcohol. You could have 25 nanograms and still be just fine to do whatever because you're a chronic user and it sits in your fat cells and is released from your fat cells into your bloodstream over time. So the way you defend that is, how does this person look and sound? This person looks and sounds like a completely sober driver in full command of their fine motor skills. That's exactly what I would tell a jury.
Absolutely. And especially Craig, who's enjoying his cereal milk this morning, coming in at a whopping 24% THC. And Craig, are you enjoying that?
I couldn't be enjoying it
that's
more.
A lot, right?
Yeah, that is a lot.
I mean, for
some people, it depends on who.
Alcohol. If I have a backwards bastard, that's like 12% alcohol for a 16.9% or a 16.9 liter bomber. That's a lot. 24%, and it's like a little gummy. That seems like a lot too.
So in the state of Michigan, and this podcast is listened and downloaded all over the world, and in each state and all and countries, Europe, everywhere, which we appreciate. So Michigan legislators introduce a bill with, what do you say, 5-7 nanogram limit?
5.
And
Five,
so,
yeah.
and most listeners
for
not just
THC, but the inactive metabolite THC.
Yeah, that's
COOH.
That's not, and especially the prosecutors object to something like that. I don't think that's going anywhere. What about the attorney general? What's her position? Has she taken a position?
Great question. Don't know. Probably opposes. I mean, on these issues, she's pretty dang great for the citizens of Michigan.
Well, let's talk about if you're 21 and under, you're not a medical marijuana card holder, you're 21 and under, you're speeding down the road, you're stopped by law enforcement, no alcohol, they smell marijuana, maybe you have some on your person, which you do not have a legal right to possess that without, the protections of being a card holder in the state of Michigan and other states with similar laws. How does the 20-year-old with THC in their system defend an operating while, impaired by a controlled substance or operating while intoxicated by a controlled substance? I mean, we're talking basically zero tolerance. The prosecutor, it's a slam dunk case there. Yeah, that's a tough one, bro. And you and I have talked about that. Subsection not a lot of wiggle room as a defense attorney on those cases.
Yeah, well, I mean,
little bit.
True.
Some.
Because subsection 8 says any amount, which is defined as 1 nanogram, a really, really, really low amount, is presumed to be under the influence of a violation of the law.
Especially if you're under 21 with no protection.
I mean, do you argue that's a due process violation? Because why should I, at 20 years old and 360 days, so I'm 5 days before my 21st birthday, why should I be convicted on a per se level because I had 1.5 nanograms in my blood? And that just seems to be really, really unfair under the Constitution.
So different prosecutors take different positions.
I haven't made that argument yet. I told you to make that argument, but I haven't made that argument.
So I did make that argument, and the outcome was the prosecutor somewhat agreed with that argument, and we compromised to a 333.7411 in turn, which removed it from the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code under 257. 90 days, non-reporting probation, fines and costs, see you later, no criminal history, and no license sanctions. So that was a good outcome.
I think that's a good outcome, yes, for sure.
Yeah, and so, folks, and could you just briefly, before we go to break, you're going to be with us the rest of the show, and we have other things to talk about, but I just mentioned, statute 333.7411. Can you briefly describe to the audience what that is and what it does for the individual?
What it means is you agree to accept responsibility or plead guilty to a controlled substance violation like possession of marijuana or, whatever the controlled substance is. You're put on a period of supervised monitoring, AKA probation. And at the end of that period, if you successfully do everything the court tells you to do, the case is dismissed. There's no record. You can tell everybody and their brother, hey, I've never been convicted of anything. It's a pretty good deal. But
to go from a Michigan, to go from a motor vehicle code where,
for sure.
Abstract,
all day.
Insurance.
I would take that all day. Yeah.
So that was a good compromise. And that was based on a discussion you and I had on due process. And this individual was under 21 years of age, was not a medical marijuana card holder, had never been one, and therefore their card expired. And they were looking at basically zero tolerance in a motor vehicle, pulled over with THC in their system, and it came back with a certain amount of nanograms in the blood. And it was so low, it just pains me to take a look at these type of cases. But, Mike, you are involved in another situation, which is just it's massive on behalf of the citizens of the state of Michigan. We have to go to break, correct, Craig?
That is correct, Todd.
So when we come back, can we continue talking to Mike Nichols from Nichols Law and his wife, Wendy, who's also an attorney, a.k.a. the boss, Mrs. Nichols, from Nichols Law Firm, 517-432-9000.
Speaking of the boss, it's your show. If you say we can keep talking to Mike, we can keep talking to Mike.
Yes, we shall keep talking to Mike after we hear from our sponsors on Mother's Day. Welcome back to the Todd L. Levitt Law Show, broadcasting and podcasting from the Black Diamond Group Mothership with my good friend Craig Russell, the muscle, the hustle, and attorney at law Mike Nichols of Nichols Law Firm, located, by the way, in East Lansing, Michigan. And yeah, I said Michigan's for some reason.
Do you remember where you're at, Todd? Come on.
Yeah, Higgins Lake, very, very own son. You're from Higgins Lake, right, Mike?
Yes, I am a Higgins Lake boy.
Yes.
Graduated from Roscommon High School in 1986.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Berkeley for me, 1983.
A little while ago, yeah.
Yeah, Berkeley beer is 83.
I'm looking out over my neighborhood in East Lansing, or it's actually Meridian Township, but it's an East Lansing address. And beautiful Mother's Day morning. Sorry.
How's Mr. Izzo and the dogs doing?
So Iz has been walking a lot lately.
Sure.
Very animated. I don't think he's happy with the transfer portal, and we'll just leave it at that.
Among other things. Hey, so before we get into anything else, I had a question after listening to the majority of the last segment. So here's a question I have for you, Mr. Nichols. We're talking about 5 nanograms and how, this compares loosely to the marijuana controlled substance version of breathalyzer and blood alcohol content, et cetera, for getting pulled over for driving or being impaired. Difference between alcohol and a controlled substance or even marijuana. There's a lot of states where marijuana is now legal. We're even talking about it possibly eventually becoming federally legal, which will open up a whole new can of worms. Where are we at with people figuring out at some point they're going to have to come to an agreement. Somebody's going to have to decide it's blank nanograms. This is just going to be the way it's going to be. If you get pulled over and you take a test and you blow whatever it is, or you take the test, that you're going to get arrested or you're going to be found impaired. At some point there's going to have to be some kind of legislation. If this thing goes legal federally, and they've got no plan in place, what are they going to do? How is this all going to work out, Mike?
So a lot going on there.
I know. I'm sorry.
Let me no, that's okay. Compound questions are what we do. I think a lot of prosecutors who are not really in the know about the pharmacokinetics, which means how the drug moves through your body, they don't get it that 5 nanograms or some per se cutoff level is not good for them. Alcohol is completely different. It's a function of dosage, body weight, a few other variables over time. Marijuana, different deal. And for a lot of prosecutors, 5 nanograms will be bad because, I take a hit, whether it's smoking or a gummy, what have you, it's going to spike up in my bloodstream pretty quickly, as in like 20, 30 minutes, depending on method of dosage based on the research. And then I will eliminate that pretty quickly to about 1 to 2 nanograms, and I will stay there for a long time. That's why a 5 nanogram cutoff bill is really bad for prosecutors. But let's face it, it's not like alcohol, and therefore, if you're a chronic user, you might be able to do like a full-on 10 nanogram gummy, and it's, let's say percentage less than 24%, 10, 15%. Maybe it doesn't affect you really much at all. And then point number 2, and this is what's in part 2 of that brief that I filed that Todd talked about, marijuana affects people differently. And not only that, but people take it for the effect. Just like certain drugs like a nerve blocker, a painkiller, a sleeping pill. You take it for the effect that it has on you. And so while it may still be in your system at a measurable level, it is not going to negatively impact your ability to drive the vehicle that you're in at 7:45 in the morning on your way to the office any more than somebody who dosed marijuana the night before, or any more who drank 2 cups of coffee 15 minutes before they got behind the wheel, right? I mean, you take coffee for the effect that it has on you. It wakes you up, gets you going, just like a stimulant would do.
Well, so
makes sense or not?
Oh, it totally makes sense. But eventually, at some point, if this is a legal product in all 50 states, and there's going to be police departments all over the country, especially in states where they've got no legality of it right now, you're going to have some problems if they can't figure out a way to determine how somebody is going to break a quote unquote law or is going to have an offense. Where are they going to come together and yeah, I mean, this is like inventing the can before inventing the can opener. Where are they going to come to an agreement to make
Craig, my man? We keep talking about marijuana like it's alcohol, and
I understand
not.
that. I understand.
There's no dosage that's going to make a difference unless it affects the person, and that's where the officer making the traffic stop. Let's say the person's on their way to the office, rear end somebody at 7:51 a.m. trying to get to wherever they have to go for work. And maybe it's their fault, maybe it's not. But the officer says, I got to figure out whether you're under the influences of something or not. And they start running the person through the SFSTs. You need to be really, really thorough, ask a lot of questions, and not just write it off as, okay, this is just an accident. If you want to investigate, maybe it was just an accident. Maybe you spend 20 minutes with the person, breaking them down, asking them questions, running them through psychophysical tests, and they still show no signs of sobriety or signs of impairment, sorry. Or maybe they do show signs of impairment and you put them under arrest. The system will work itself out. And that's just the way it is.
So
THC is not like alcohol.
I understand. So we're going to be able to have a federally legal product that will end up eventually having to be, again, places that have no marijuana legality whatsoever now. I'm sure states, California, Michigan, where it's been legal for a while, you're going to have officers who are more trained and are more used to the situation. When you go to a place like, say, in Alabama or a Maine where it's not legal, that's going to end up causing problems, is it not?
For sure, yes. And that's where I think people just need to organize, get state by state passage of legal marijuana. And frankly, I think in this congressional session, we will see federal legalization of marijuana.
I agree. I think
needs to happen.
Well, and I think it will.
Needs to happen.
So. It needs to happen.
If for nothing else, get some uniformity across the states.
Yep.
Banking, insurance. Look at how many companies
for sure.
and industries are federally regulated, especially the banking. If you speak to a company that deals in cannabis and what they have to go through with the banking and the fees and so on. It's incredible, and it's painful to listen to it. And, again, all these industries that are federally regulated, things will open up even more than they have in the past. So
as much as things have been legalized, it's still like 1985 when I would save my lunch money and use it to save up $20 to buy a quarter ounce from some dude in the bathroom at Roscommon High School.
Really? Wow.
Because you can't pay with credit card or Venmo or whatever.
Yep.
No,
Well,
if I walk into one of Todd's very fine dispensaries, Todd, you can name one. I have a couple
Consano.
of these.
We love Consano.
I walk into Consano.
Or Jars. There's great dispensaries all over the state.
Yep.
I have to have, like $40, $50 cash if I want to buy some product. I can't use a credit card.
Right, exactly. And, the thing about it is, and we've talked about this, Mike, ad nauseum on the show here, that all the states have gone medical, not all, but almost, medical and or recreational, or some combination thereof. The people have spoken. So the men and women in Washington, D.C. are not listening. But that could be said for decades and decades of representation, not just, in recent days or years.
I think we're going to see a change in
I hope
Washington.
So. I mean, enough's enough already. But again, the states have spoken, the people have spoken. It has to happen soon, whereby cannabis is removed.
Well, I think
out of Controlled Substance Act Schedule 1.
So my daughter wants me to play some catch before the sun comes up.
Is that a song?
Is
that a song?
That is a song. That's a Led Zeppelin song. No, I'm kidding.
Led Zeppelin.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
We're destroying it with Stone Temple Pilots on the show today, Nick.
That's right.
Yeah, they're okay.
Well, we didn't get to your amicus brief, though, Mr. Nichols.
People versus Dupree. I'll put it on my website. People can go find it. The bottom line is the things I just talked about.
Okay.
That's the way to wrap it up right there.
I filed it with the Supreme Court. It's pretty aggressive. It's kind of out there. It's kind of ballsy, but
hey, you got to do what you got to do. On Mother's Day, you got to do what you got to do, man. We totally get it.
Right.
All right, Mike.
I filed a brief on behalf of the criminal defense attorneys of Michigan. It's a labor of love. Peace out, brothers.
Mike Nichols in the house, everybody.
Mike Nichols Law Firm, everybody. Mike, by the way, Mike and Wendy Nichols will be at the 420 Canna Hemp Expo on June 4th and 5th, Craig.
Among many other people, as we just announced on the show earlier on, Darren McCarty is going to be there. Name other celebrities who will be there. Well, Todd will be there. Lil Jon will be there. Is Vinny Kate going to be there?
Vinny Kate will be there. Biker Bob will be there. Hopefully my good friend Frank Bailey, Stephanie Peters. Hope to see all my dear friends out there at the 420 Canna Hemp Expo.
That's going on in Mount Pleasant, first weekend of June. We will tell you more about that as the weeks go on. Hey, Todd, we got to take a break. We'll come back and wrap up the show. The Todd L. Levitt Law Show will be right back. Welcome back to the Todd L. Levitt Law Show, broadcasting and podcasting from the Black Diamond Group Mothership. It's Todd and it's Craig on Mother's Day. You doing anything for Jen or your daughters for Mother's Day today?
heading back to the D with Jen and the Familia this afternoon, for my mom wants coney dogs.
Oh, okay.
So we're heading down to Detroit, Lafayette, Coney Island. There's always that competition between Detroit Coney dog establishments. Leo's Coney Island is my mom's favorite.
Okay.
So more than likely we'll end up at Leo's Coney Island somewhere for a coney dog. How about you, Craig?
I am traveling to Kalamazoo today to get my mom some KFC. She loves KFC for Mother's Day, and it's Mother's Day, so why wouldn't I get her what she wants?
Yeah, and a special happy Mother's Day to a good family friend of ours, Elizabeth Hansen, who listens to the podcast. Elizabeth and John Hansen, dear friends of mine. Elizabeth used to, as well as John, used to be professors at Central Michigan University, and Elizabeth is just... she's certified and bona fide and off the cuff, one of the funniest ladies I know. And so a big shout out to Elizabeth Hansen out there.
Anybody who's certified and bona fide is a friend of the show. And, of course, we definitely wish happy Mother's Day to. What else we got to get to, Todd? Anything else going on?
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to one of the prosecutor's office. I'm often put on hold. Not intentionally, but, you can call any business on any given day during business hours, and they will put you on hold. Most of the music is just horrendous. It's not in my wheelhouse like Stone Temple Pilots, some of the rock and roll we play here. But I was put on hold last week at the Midland County Prosecutor's Office.
Okay.
And their music is just legit. I felt like it was just smooth. It was mellow. It was chillaxing, almost as if I was at one of those electronic music festivals. Now, JD will listen to this and change the music now. But no, JD Brooks does a great job. Big shout out to Jeff Reddig. Everybody out there at the prosecutor's office, but especially Reddig. But no, the music was very chillaxing at the Midland prosecutor's office, and that's why I'm bringing it up, because I'm not used to that kind of music. It's usually, orchestra or some kind of classical music that you're put on hold. If you're going to be put on hold, just destroy it with some hardcore rock and roll.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Now, I'm not going to name names here at this point, but I am going to mention there is a large technology company. How about that? And when they put you on hold, and any one of the number of numbers you call this large technology company, they put you on hold, it literally sounds like you are in a funeral home. It sounds like there's a death march when they're waiting. And I'm like, how in the world does that make you want to stay on hold and talk to them about your phone or your internet? Come on.
Man.
It's 2021. It sounds like you're in a morgue. I'm
totally with you on that.
Don't get that.
Here's another thing, Craig. How about when you call some 800 number customer service and you get the recording? This call may be used for training purposes. No, I don't want my call used for training purposes. Enough of that. And by the way, I want to know and I want to listen to all the calls that I've been involved with that have actually been used for training purposes, because I want a percentage of that. If you're going to use my call, my likeness, my training, and my outstanding, consumer customer relations I have with all these different companies, I want a part of it, okay? I mean, what choice do you have? Can you say no? By the way, folks, thank you for calling 1-800-CRAIG-RUSSELL. This phone call may be used for training purposes, and you don't have a choice. If you want to pay your phone bill or you want the services we offer, it's going to be used for training. What choice do we have? You know who can answer that? Consumer lawyer Steve Lado. Lado's Law, YouTube. He does a great job on his channel. But Steve Lado is one of the leading consumer lawyers in the existence of the universe. We need to talk to him about that, Craig.
Yeah, we do. And I'll tell you this much. I was on his page just a couple of nights ago. He had put up a video, something about a lady who had bilked a bunch of people out of money using fake coupons for like $31 million or something like that. It already had like 55,000 views in like 4 hours. I don't know what he's got in the water there at Lado's Law, Lemon Law Ranch thing that he's got going on. But man, he is knocking it out of the park on the YouTube. Steve Lado,
turning it and burning it with some cereal milk, by the way, Craig Russell.
That is the strain of the day, thanks to the guys at Consano. Got a nice note from Micah over the week after the show from last week. So, hey, we got to get going, Todd. The show's over. Let's go.
Show's over, Craig. I will see
over.
You and all the listeners at the 420 Canna Hemp Expo. Check it out online on the website. Darren McCarty will be there from the Red Wings and a lot of other great exhibitors. Yours truly, Craig Russell, and Todd L. Levitt will be in attendance with Little John and everybody else. Craig, we're not here for a long time. We are here for a nug time. Take us out with some STP, baby.
The Todd L. Levitt Law Show, brought to you by Chad Malley Well Drilling of Rosebush, Clark Modular Homes, your most experienced and trusted builder in Mount Pleasant, and attorney Todd L. Levitt, not just a litigator, he's an advocator.
Opinions expressed on this radio program do not necessarily reflect the views of this radio station.